Come on then, let's hear it.
Right, I don't know what a podcast is.
Not sure that bit will make it. You can be slow or fast, but you must get to the line.
This is just insane to hear.
Give them the robot.
Give them the robot.
Give them what they want.
Give the people what they want.
Don't ever doubt me again. It's not. I don't make this stuff up.
I love you, I'm not leaving.
That's one of the saddest things I've ever heard, Crouchy.
Just going all in on the podcast.
Welcome to That Peter Crouch podcast with me, Peter Crouch.
Chris Stark, ladies and gentlemen, usually found on Radio 1 in the afternoons. Tom Fordyce is with me.
It's all about the team bus today. I'm looking forward to that.
It's going to be good, isn't it? Now, you weren't sure, Peter, were you, at the start of this, A, what a podcast was, B, if you wanted to get involved in it, and C, whether your agent would give it the thumbs up. So we've had some messages now, haven't we, Chris? We've had some chat back from punters. Is it making you want to do more?
Yeah, I really have enjoyed it, chatting to you boys. And like you say, the feedback, I honestly thought this was going to go into a dark cave and never be seen again. But people are loving it.
Do you know what? Thank you so much. If you have dropped us a message, there's been so many very, very funny messages that we've got.
You know, we were talking about the walk-on stuff the other day.
Yeah.
I got an absolute belter of a video from these three fellas. I was trying to find it today. And he seems to have vanished off Twitter. I can't seem to find him. I think he's
Strange. We had this before, Chris, where Peter has bigged up something, then somehow hasn't delivered.
Not delivered on the old picture front. Yeah, it's becoming a theme of this. What was amazing is I was DJing the other night, and a lad came up to me. And he was like, he was really drunk. He came up to me and goes, "There's no way Crouch has got that picture of Iniesta. You stick with it, mate. You stick with it." Like really passionate in my face, as if there was some kind of problem. Well, should we go through some of the messages that we've been receiving from all of you lovely people that have subscribed?
So we had a question from Julian, and this was for Peter. Is it true that when you were on loan at Norwich, you had to have your shorts specially made?
You see, yeah, this is true. Like it's actually true. In all honesty, they're the only club that have actually asked me or cared enough.
This has got Delia's footprints all over, hasn't it?
It was nice. And when I said, yeah, I'd like shorts that fit me, that'd be great. They made them, but it was just so obvious the way they'd made them. So they were literally like the normal shorts, but they just added literally like a couple of inches to them. So they looked pretty
In what
bad.
direction? I'm sorry. Is this for the length of the short, or was this for your length? Or, like, what was the main aim of these shorts?
It was just basically to cover a little bit more of the leg. I don't know if you've noticed, but they are quite long. They literally just stitched a little bit on the bottom, so it didn't look great.
Nick says, Crouchy, do you remember a dentist in Ealing called Miss Chang?
Yes.
That's my mother.
I do.
P.S. Love the podcast.
This is amazing. Miss Chang. She was my dentist when I was a kid, yeah.
Did you visit her regularly?
Regularly, yeah. Hence the reason my teeth are lovely.
Yeah. So big thank you to Miss Chang if you're listening right now. Keeping it real in Ealing. Do you still use Miss Chang?
No, I don't know what happened to Miss Chang. She had a dentist on Pitsanger Lane, but it's moved. It's not a dentist anymore.
Do you find that anyone ever sort of endorses their business or restaurant based on a visit that you've done there maybe once?
Oh yeah, well a few. Actually, along that strip of shops, that's like where I grew up. I'm still on the wall in the curry house.
It's always a curry house.
Down the road. Yeah.
It's always
like
a curry house.
Yeah, I am on the wall in there, which is great. I must name check the Samrat because it's a great Indian restaurant, and I've been going there for a long, long time. I actually bought the moving picture. They refurbed it. I said, "What are you going to do with the picture?" And they were, I don't know. We're just going to throw it out. And they auctioned like a load of items, and I bought it. And,
How much?
It was like 40 quid, I think.
He will have paid over the
But,
odds.
That's what I'm thinking.
They've seen him coming.
No, but there was a lot of takers actually.
A lob it in a skip, and then
Crouch.
Crouchy comes along. Oh, yeah, we paid £300 for this moving picture.
I love that the moving picture was a piece of art though that you really, really wanted. So do you still have the moving picture on the wall? Is it?
Well, Abby's not too. Doesn't go with the feng shui really of the house.
What is wrong with this country? You can't put a moving picture in the kitchen wall.
It's outrageous, yeah. But I will get it up one day. I'm just going to put it up because it deserves pride of place. I think the office is a good place for it.
Yeah. Was it an impulsive buy?
No, I mean, it was legendary. I mean, when we were kids, whenever we would go for a curry, as lads, we started first having a beer and stuff like that, we'd go to the Indian and see it on the wall, and it's legendary. Everyone around there knows the moving picture, and if you're from Ealing and you go to the Samrat,
I really want to go to the Samrat.
the movie.
I know we're talking about this end of show party thing that we'll do at some point. Maybe we think about the Samrat.
Well, listen, it's not just a good curry, but the best Irish coffee you'll ever have in your life.
Bloody love an Irish coffee.
It's top notch.
I would love to go for a curry with you boys, obviously. What are we having? What is the Peter Crouch curry of choice?
Well, I've tried to upgrade over the years. A couple of my mates are seriously into spices, and I've tried to upgrade as best I can. I started with a korma, and then obviously
when was that? When you were at Portsmouth?
When you was 12.
Korma in it then, and then chicken tikka masala. Then moved it on slowly to the chicken curry, and now I'm on the madras, and I'm on the verge of a vindaloo.
Good luck, mate.
So I'm getting there.
So we've been getting loads of reviews as well. Now, I made the big mistake here of reading some of the reviews, which they're all very positive about you, Crouchy, and Tom. Less so about me at times, but that's fine.
I love this one from Harriet. Brilliant podcast, but this is only to be expected. As anything with Tom Fordyce's ultra sexy smooth voice is a must.
Don't look surprised. Come on.
Wow.
I agree.
I've seen the way you two look at me in this podcast. Right, here's someone who's got a bone to pick with you, Crouchy. A chap called Tim. This refers to the story where someone said their mum had met you in Devon and you have very cold hands. Crouch was definitely in Devon when at Portsmouth. He did a pre-season tour when Redknapp was the director of football.
Tim, I'm happy to say that I was wrong there. We did a pre-season trip to somewhere down that way. Don't know if it was precisely Devon, but where's I don't know if you know Nigel Mansell's hotel. He's got a hotel down in.
I don't know Nigel Mansell's hotel.
No,
Did you stay in it?
It's amazing. It's got a museum in it, and you can go around and see his cars and various bits and pieces.
Did you stay there on the?
We stayed there. It's called
the pre-season tour?
Woodbury Manor or something like that. But
This is great. When it gets to your level, Crouching, you can just contact you can contact Lenny Henry if you want to stay in one hotel. You can contact Nigel Mansell if you want to stay.
Was
in
Nigel
another.
there?
No, but apparently the woman told me the story. This might be made up as well, but I'm going to say it anyway. He apparently used to come in his helicopter, fly his own helicopter, and fly it right by and basically scare the people in the hotel, right over the top of it. Then,
So if I were cross-examining you, Crouchy, on this, you've gone from a position where you said categorically that you'd never been to Devon, and now you've got really detailed knowledge of Nigel Mansell's hotel in Devon. There's some inconsistencies here, Chris.
Yeah. Any other reviews?
I'll make this last one here. This last one's a belter. I love this podcast. I love Crouchy, and I can even tolerate Chris Stark.
Oh, good. Well, look, thank you to everyone who's given us a review. Keep giving us 5 stars if you think we deserve it. Keep sharing it. Get your mates to subscribe. The best thing you can do is try and think of one friend that you think would like this and just pass it on. And keep passing it on.
Pass the pod.
Pass the pod. I like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Right, well, thanks to everyone who's got in touch. Let's get down to business. Episode 5 is all about being on the team bus.
We've all sat on a bus and been bored out of our minds, haven't we? Whether it's a mega bus, some heinous journey along the world's motorways, and you have all these little things to do to pass the time. But you, Peter Crouch, you have these journeys every week. So do you get bored out of your minds?
There's a lot of travelling involved with football. It's taken me to some great places, and it's taken me to some not so great places. But certainly the team bus is it's an amazing thing where all the lads are together, and it's evolved so much from when I first started playing football to where they are now. And they are quite luxurious, but they've become maybe more boring in some ways.
Really? So you are at a Premier League club. It's Chris's first match for that club, Crouchy. He walks onto the team coach / bus. Where does he sit?
You have your specific spot, and I think if you walk on the team bus and you're a new signing, you'll have to ask where you can sit. People have their own. If you came in and just sat down in my spot, I wouldn't be too pleased, and it wouldn't endear you to the rest of the lads, really. So it's common knowledge. You come onto a team bus and you say, "Is there anywhere spare I can sit?" And
those are the exact words. That's the formula you use.
Where can I sit? Yeah, it's not usually polite.
Do you help people onto the bus then, or do you make it difficult for them? Do you just stand and go nowhere?
Yeah, no. Usually we'll just tell them a place where someone sits, and then watch the fun unfold.
Right. And is it naughty boys at the back? Is it school rules?
It's usually the same sort of scenario. Yeah, I mean it's like you say, the cool kids at the back, it's the smokers, staff at the front, which is common in any football club. You'll see the staff, if some reason one of the coaches or the manager tried to sit at the back, I think it would blow everyone's mind. The card schools and sort of area where I sort of live in the middle, and then at the back there's usually some loud music and bits and pieces.
Chris, what would be your opening gambit? So you've joined Crouchy's team. You've already been stitched up. You've had to have a fight with 2 people to actually get a seat. You want to move towards the back because that's clearly where the fun is. What's your strategy? What are you literally going to bring to the table?
You've got to stick near the established ones, haven't you? You've got to stick near the cool kids. I'd probably cling to someone like yourself and try and hope that you'll protect me from the bullies. Yeah, it's a hard one. I can't imagine what it's like because I always see these coaches parked up next to the grounds and they look nice and everything. But essentially, however nice it is, it's still just a coach, isn't it? It's a long journey. Toilet stops, all this sort of thing. I mean, I imagine it's the same rules that generally apply. No number 2s, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, you can't go in the toilet in the coach. You've just got to wait.
What if you really needed to go? Because these are quite long, some of these journeys.
I've never seen it.
Not even from Robert Huth?
No, I don't think even Hoofy. No. But yeah, I mean, the way it's gone, card schools used to be forefront of everyone. That was what it was.
You mentioned that. So what's going on there?
So that was back in the day. It was all, everyone was playing cards. It was all lots of individual games. And I think now, obviously, the devices, phones, iPads, headphones have come in. It's a lot more sort of gone that way, which is a bit of a shame, really, in a lot of ways, because it was probably more fun, when you were talking to each other.
Yeah.
Really. I think now it's become a bit more watching films or doing their own thing. And I remember right when I first started at QPR, someone would bring in a film and we'd all watch it together. Do you know what I mean?
That's awesome. I like that.
Which is quite good. And at Portsmouth, Kev the Kitman, he was an old boxer and he used to bring in his videos and we'd watch him boxing back in the day and used to give him a bit of stick. But it was good, yeah.
It's the same with trains as well. You get trains sometimes, right? So it's an amazing picture of the Man United team at Watford Junction. It blew my mind. Like, I didn't know that went on.
Everyone's just realised the train is the quickest way to travel.
Yeah.
And it's literally like you can sit on a bus and can't move, but with a train, you're just on it. And as long as it's not delayed, you're flying there. But it is a weird thing, like you say, seeing pictures of Man United at Watford Junction.
I remember famously Rooney looking really grumpy by Watford Junction.
That might be the first train he'd ever caught.
Yeah, maybe. But you've got all of these players on the platform and then there's everyone else. The game's finished. There's still people floating about or getting out the pubs. What happens? Do you get all chaperoned away?
The bus, sometimes, certainly at Euston, the bus can get underneath and go on the platform.
The bus can go on the platform?
What are you on about?
Yeah, honestly, you don't believe this. I don't know, when you go down to Euston?
Yeah.
There's actually big, massive gates to the side that you probably never even looked at. But if you go down to Euston Station, look right.
Yeah.
Right to the corner. I think it's platform
9
1.
3/4.
9 3/4. Platform 1. If you look to the right of that, there's a massive gate. The bus
I'm seeing these gates in my head, yeah.
Those gates, the bus comes through there.
So it would then
Stops
drive.
there,
Do you go first class?
And then we go on the train. Yeah, the first 2 carriages are booked out for the players. Yeah.
Are you allowed to use the buffet car as usual, or do you have your own?
No, no, we don't do that. No, we'll eat on the bus. The bus now has a kitchen, so the chef usually.
What? There's a chef on the bus.
There's a chef on the bus. Yeah, it's all changed now.
So it's not like the National Express where it would be some woman coming down with expensive crisps.
No, genuinely, yeah, we've got a chef at the back of the bus. Can have a little soup, main course, and dessert.
Is the chef just stood there at any point ready to make you food?
No, he's usually, to be honest, he doesn't. On the way up there, he's not there. But it's so important after games to refuel. Like if you've got a game on a Tuesday, the shout is you're supposed to eat straight away. 2 hours after a game, you need to get something into you to, no matter what it is, even if it's fatty foods, burgers or chips, anything really. So he'll be there as soon as we get on the bus, making stuff. And I think what I've found, having been on the bench quite a lot recently, is that you get very hungry on the bench.
Yeah, but you can't eat on the bench, can
That's
you?
what I mean. I'm starving when I get on the bus. But having played, which is so weird, you just don't feel hungry. Like I don't know, it's all that nervous energy and the sort of buzz and butterflies and energy drinks and stuff that you've had before. I think it takes you over the 2 hours before you want to eat again, which is scientifically not the right thing to do. So,
but Abby's never made you a pat lunch for the bus.
No.
There you go.
She hasn't. No, well,
good
we're
one.
fortunate. We got a chef, so
That is amazing. I honestly didn't know that. And is the chef a Stoke fan?
no, he's a Man City fan, believe it or not.
Oh,
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
What would they make you then?
As soon as you get on, there's a bit of sushi, and then there's a soup, and then there'll be like chicken curry, a chicken burger, or a burger.
This sounds like a good night out, Chris.
It's good.
What's the
It's not
rules?
bad.
Does
So-
the manager have to stand up and... Because it all sounds like you're having a nice time, you're eating food, you're playing cards. Does the manager at some point then stand up and say, right, phones away, guys, we're going to focus, we're turning up in 15 minutes, you play Rocky or something like that through the speakers, what, football's coming home, I don't know.
You say that, but I remember being with England. We played. I think Ray Winston did a sort of a video geeing us up before.
God, I bet
before
that was
the
quite
games
threatening.
and
Was
stuff.
it like
No, it was really good.
not sexy beast Ray Winston?
No, it was. I mean, he's quite. He's a very proud Englishman. So he was doing the, a big speech, and there was pictures of fans and what it meant to them and stuff like that. And so it was quite. We watched that before we got off the bus.
He didn't segue into his betting commercial.
Yeah, it's like,
Crouchy scored the next goal.
no, it was quite inspiring actually. And then we'd watch us scoring goals, and
You watch yourself scoring goals.
Yeah, we watched players that scored goals
To
scoring
big up
goals, and
yourself- to
basically
make yourself feel
just give yourself confidence and a bit of belief
And the defenders would get what other people scoring goals
hard
past them.
tackles. No, hard tackles. It was just basically cheering each other up. So we'd watch the that was before World Cups and stuff like that. And I remember actually going to games. I remember couple of my first England games. We used to be at the Grove Hotel, or sometimes we were in the Lowry. I think when Wembley was getting
Old
built.
Trafford, yeah.
And obviously, when I made my debut, it was Sven. He would name the team and the subs at the hotel, and then we'd get on the bus and travel. And I think that's when you let people know if you're playing. Like I'd let my dad know, look, I'm playing.
That's cool. Isn't it?
Playing for England. And I remember the early days where the nerves are so big, especially for the early England games, because I want to stay in a team, and thinking about so much, how I'm going to play, what I'm going to do, and the nervous energy and the build up. And I remember a couple of times just being on the bus as we're driving from the Lowry to Old Trafford. We'd just sort of stop, and I'd just look into like a pub and just see a fella on his own, just having a pint, watching the game, and I was like that nervous and thinking, God, I don't know if I'd swap places with him at the like now. I'd go, God, he's got no pressure. He's just having a pint watching the game. And I'm going to be on that telly in a minute, like
That is
putting myself
nuts,
on the
isn't
line,
it?
thinking, would it be easier just to be that fella? And I genuinely thought that, which is a mad thought. But there was one point, where you were about to play for England that you think, would it be easier just to, not put yourself on the line?
Why is that? Is that because you're good enough to do it, right? So it's not an imposter syndrome sort of thing. It's not that you don't feel you deserve to be there.
I was like, I could just be that fella in the pub that just watches the game instead of being in it. But obviously, it's only just a stupid thought that you put to the back of
I
your
think we
mind.
all encounter it in any job.
So you'll talk to a lot of track and field athletes who'll be on the blocks for an Olympic final.
You think the nerves?
Yeah, and all they want to do, they say, if you had a magic button like an ejector seat and they could press it and be at home, they'd all do it. They'd all bail out.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
it's too much.
I've realised that feeling is a drug. So I think in your job, if you don't have that feeling of, it doesn't matter what it is, even if it's a small feeling, if it's like you on the radio, you're about to go live to millions. Everyone has to go through these kinds of things where go into a job interview and they'll have those butterflies and go, and that there's one point where you go, I could just walk away and not do this. But the sense of pride and achievement, you've overcome those butterflies and you've come out the other side and you've gone, right, I've done it and I did it well.
That's
It's
amazing,
the
isn't
best
it?
feeling in the world, and I think gives you a huge sense of pride. And I've always said that with whatever I go into next or the job, you still need that feeling of those butterflies, otherwise you're in the wrong job.
You need the fear, don't you, Chris? I think you need the fear to have that kick of joy at the end, don't you? And for us, Chris, who watch football and watch sport as fans, I think there's the same thing. I don't know how you felt when Watford have been in playoff finals and things like that. You've been desperate for them to get there. Whether it's when you beat, was it 2006 when you beat Leeds?
Yeah.
So you're desperate to be there, but there's also part of you that feels so sick, you almost wish the thing was over. So you spent all season wanting to get in the playoff final, and then you're there and you don't actually want to watch it. A part of you doesn't want to watch it.
It's so true. Even now, when you're on the bench and you're like watching the game, and then that shout you get, right, you're coming on. It's like when you start a game, you're ready, you're focused, but that can happen at any point that you're coming on now. from the bench. That feeling, still get that today. The nerves and the the heart pumps and you're ready to go. But I think that is the best feeling when you overcome it in the world. It's scary, but it's great.
Can I ask where the teacher's pet sits? Does he sit as close as he can to the manager without being actually in the manager's seats?
Without doubt, yeah. You're always down the front, near the coaches. And
you told me a story once about Matthew Etherington under Tony Pulis.
Yeah.
He may as well have been called Matthew Pulis.
Yeah, but that was through no fault of his own, to be honest. He hated the love he used to get. Because
Tony Pulis just loved him.
Yeah.
So if I'm right,
but if he was sitting here now, he'd say the same about me.
Oh, would he?
Yeah.
Who sat closer to the front of the bus?
No, we used to sit together actually.
They were rivaling for Pulis's attention.
We were both.
He wouldn't have to train sometimes. Is that right? Under Tony
yeah,
Pulis?
but neither did I sometimes as well. So
really, you didn't tell me that before.
He would. What obviously Tony Pulis was very good at was if you were doing well for him, he was fantastic with you. He would always look after me because I was doing all right. And the same with Matthew Etherington. And I remember with Matty, it was probably a little bit more special than with me. And he used to give him a big coat. Just say, don't train today, you're too important.
A big coat?
And
what?
Just give him
what
a
are you
big
on about?
coat. Literally give him a big coat and let him just watch training.
Because he was too important.
He was
to
too important.
Train.
He was too important.
I bet you were fine with that, weren't you? The rest of you?
Oh, he got abused, but it was one of those where like the odd time I had it as well. So I can't
You
give
got the
Matt
special
too much
coat.
stick. If you're not playing, if you're not doing it for him, then he'll let you know. And if you are, he'll look after you by putting a big coat around you.
So that's the well-behaved kids, of which you were kind of in the middle of the bus. I think it seems to be the naughtier ones are at the back, the better behaved ones. Has anyone ever fallen asleep on the bus and you've done that sort of like draw over their face?
Yeah, that happens regularly. I think that's standard in most football clubs up and down the country. If you fall asleep, anything goes, isn't it?
Has it happened to you, or you got any
no,
good stories on that?
I wouldn't fall asleep. I don't think
You wouldn't
No,
dare.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't like to. No, it happens for fun. It's usually like things bouncing off your head, isn't it, and waking you up.
Can you just explain what's going on with the players in there? Is it generally like jovial, or is it silent, or is it?
I think you can tell the difference. Some of the Champions League nights that I played at Anfield, they were like nothing I've ever experienced. I can't even stress to you that bus just about to pull in Shankly Gates and go into the ground. The flags, the fireworks, the flares, the singing, the banging on the bus. I think they just let you know that you're in a big game and you're at a big club. It's an amazing feeling to see that. And then the roar when you get off the bus. And I'm talking big nights. The best being the semi, for me personally, was the semi-final against Chelsea in 2007.
Champions League.
Yeah, I mean, with just the history of the games was a bit of needle, and, coming off the bus and that atmosphere was incredible. And I think that's probably the most I felt the bus rocking and stuff. It was amazing.
And does it help you or does it scare you?
Because that might intimidate people, mightn't it, Chris? That would scare some players.
Well, I think it's intimidating for the other team. I think I wouldn't say I've been intimidated, but I remember going to Turkey, for instance.
I was going to say Turkey for me, from what I see, looks terrifying.
Yeah, it's mad. Well, I've played Galatasaray, I've played Fenerbahce and Besiktas. And Besiktas for me was incredible. It's quite a small, tight stadium and they're all close to the pitch. I remember looking round and I don't think I saw one woman and I didn't see one child. It was all men.
Yeah.
Shouting, screaming, aggressive. The whole place, they did this thing where they all bounced. And I remember when you get off the bus, they're all just waiting for you and just to intimidate you. And it was great, but I think... Scary, but gets you up for the game as well. I mean, how can you not be up for a game of football like that? I mean, no one can ever hurt you. You're on a football pitch to do a job. It's an intimidating atmosphere, but I think it should inspire you. On the flip side of that, I remember playing the Under-20 World Cup in Nigeria and turning up on this bus, and there was quite a lot of players pulled out, and there was a lot of trouble in Nigeria at the time. I think I can't remember what exact year it was, but I remember turning up. I remember we pulled up, and these people were throwing rocks at the police, and the police were coming back with all sorts of batons, and it was basically like a civil war going on. And we just pulled out the bus, and they both just parted. And the Nigerian fans just started singing and waving and dancing,
Doing the robot.
smiling, and they were just so happy to see us. And the police were like, "Oh yeah."
So what you're saying is the England under-21 team brought peace to a war of nations.
it felt like that. They just loved it. They literally loved it. And if you could just film that and come in on the bus, it just shows you what football can do. Really, they were literally throwing rocks at each other, fighting, and then they both parted, saw the bus and wanted to wave and. They just loved football, so it did help.
Does it make you wonder, Chris? So this is one thing that does annoy some fans when you see players getting off a coach, whether it's one of those massive nights or it's a standard Saturday, and they got headphones on, and they're almost blocking out all that stuff. So if you're a fan, I think often you want your players to walk down, and if it's an away match, to be absorbing it, like you say, Peter, going to Turkey, to soaking it all up, and if it's a home match, to listen to the support.
Are you a headphone wearer? I can't remember.
No, I've gone on the anti-headphone.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's become an accessory, hasn't it? And people doing interviews with them around the neck, and it became a competition at one stage where who can wear the biggest pair of headphones. I think.
Wait, it actually,
it wasn't actually a thing, but it seemed to be. It certainly wasn't for me. But yeah, I don't get it. It's not for me.
The bus driver is an important man in that setup because he's the first one you see, Chris, isn't he, when you walk on? So he sets the tone. You either get a little nod from him or he might be grumpy guts and just stares through the window. So how important are the bus drivers?
So important. Yeah, they usually get so much stick. Just if traffic occurs, it's always their fault.
It's true. It's like weather people being responsible for the weather, isn't it? When you watch it on TV.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Damn you, Thomas Schaffenacker.
Michael Fish, you wanker.
That's not getting in.
Similar in a lot of ways to bus drivers because they get us there quickly. No one bats an eyelid. That's his job. If for some reason there's a bit of traffic, the abuse is just from everywhere.
Yeah, but Crouchy, you're
From every angle.
elite footballers, right? So you're all there fulfilling your roles. Is the bus driver like a good bus driver signed from, wherever?
Like a Formula One bus driver.
Go and reverse this bus like mad speeds, like.
Yeah, well, I've had bad bus drivers and good ones. Like, the ones that slam on the brakes and they go you on the bus. You're up making a cup of tea, and bang, you're half near the front with tea on your face. So yeah, it's nice when you've got a smooth driver and you know what you get with him.
Who's the best one? Any names? We've had Kev the Kit Man.
Some good. Graham at Liverpool was. He's actually the kit man now.
He's graduated.
He was
Is that
originally
a promotion?
the bus
I
driver.
assume so, yeah.
It's just a natural progression.
Because 1 minute you're helping the kit man unload the kit from your own bus.
That's genuinely how it happens.
And then he's just, next time he carries the kit a little bit further into the ground. And
You're doing someone's job, aren't you?
Before anyone knows it, you're used to this man carrying the kit in and you've got no bus driver.
And I think, honestly, that is genuinely how these things happen. If you think about how many skips and boots and the kit and everything, there's a lot of carrying from the bus to the coach, and it genuinely starts with the bus driver helping out.
So is it the same bus driver every week?
Yeah, we usually have the same bus driver every week. Yeah.
And do they have their own rules?
Yeah.
They're always very proud of their buses, I think. And I think you do have to respect that. There are times where footballers being footballers might leave a bit of crap all
what's
over.
Happened?
No, I'm just saying,
Not actual
rubbish-wise, not actual shit. No, but maybe be messier. But you'll see, he'll usually put his bin bags on every seat now, so he's letting you know, put it in there. Yeah. And he's very proud. And I think you'll always see. I look out in the morning sometimes from the hotel and just see him just cleaning the outside of the bus. Quite proud of it. And they're amazing buses these days. You literally got everything you can wish for. We've even got the little charging docks. You just leave your phone on.
That's nice.
Sweet.
On the thing. We've got them.
The wireless charge.
Yeah, the wireless chargers. There's TVs and bits and pieces. The mic system that gets abused.
Have you ever been told off by a bus driver?
No.
Do they watch the matches?
I think they usually watch a bit of it and then they've got to get out and get it warm.
What's the optimum temperature for a bus after a match?
Just lukewarm's fine.
Do they have...
What bizarre.
I was wondering what you were going to go with that. Luke, what does lukewarm mean?
I'm just wondering why players.
I struggle with
temperature of a bus.
I'm just
I
wondering
like
why
it
you can't just
lukewarm.
get on a bus. Why you have to have it at a certain temperature when you get on it.
I guess it's if it's freezing cold. What you're saying is he starts the bus
I'll
up.
get it. Well, no, I'm just saying. I
Get the
don't know.
bus going, mate.
Just get the
Chef's
engine
at
on.
back.
Yeah, get me my
Pasta.
sushi.
The chef's doing a bit. Yeah, he's at the back.
Who else is in there then? So just going for the formation on the bus. You got the bus driver, then you've got management. Seems stupid to put management there because surely they should be keeping an eye on all the players. You know, checking that no funny stuff's going on because there's nothing stopping any of you guys just giving that to the manager.
I'll tell you what I find. Right at the front, you've got the two, the manager and the assistant. After a game, if you've lost, it starts very down and then try and forget the game and there's a bit more laughter. And then you just see the eyes from the manager, who will just be watching the game, fuming, seeing how shit we were.
He's watching it again.
And then, usually like they'll watch the game again on the bus. If you've got a long journey, you
straight
If
away.
you've been sent off or something like that, you're sat at the back
and laughing.
watching your boss, watching you kind of, and you know you can lie at the time and say, "No, I didn't do anything," but they're watching the replays, they're watching all of that. So you've kind of got to sit back, like being a naughty school kid, really,
Quietly.
and be quiet.
Some managers are worse than others, and I think now
Who was the worst?
Harry was a bad loser.
Was he?
Rightly so. I mean, no one likes losing, but he didn't take it well. And I think, listen, you shouldn't be laughing and joking.
But then
should you?
sometimes when you're told not to laugh, it makes you want to laugh
Exactly
so
right.
much
And
more.
You could cut the atmosphere with a knife. And listen, everyone's down after a game if you've lost. None more so than me. I hate losing, and you want to kick the dog when you come in. But you're on the bus and playing cards and trying to take your mind off it. So if something happens, you might go and then forget where you are, laugh, and the evils from the front.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
but it's a bit like laughing at a funeral or something, isn't it? Like, you're right, the intensity of the situation makes it far worse. When you win, does it turn into like a bus party? Is it a bit like a hen do? Sort of, one of those party buses.
One of those stretch limos, yeah.
I've had
like
that.
the stretch limos, yeah.
Certainly, when I first started playing, a lot of the older players, bit old school, we'd won a game. There'd be a few cans on the bus. It's all gone now. We don't have that. But we'd have a few cans and we'd stop at the fish and chip shop. Someone would go in and get some fish and chips, and we'd have a few beers and fish and chips, and it'd be a good laugh.
That sounds
amazing.
tremendous.
It was great, and I think that has obviously stopped, but they were good times.
There were horrified reactions, weren't there, from some of the foreign players who first came over the late 90s on those sorts of bus journeys. I think there's a story about Paolo Di Canio when he was at West Ham, so Harry would have been the manager, of exactly that. Some midweek away trip where he's got on the bus, he's expecting a protein shake, out comes 24 pack of Fosters, and then they pull up a fish and chip shop where clearly they pulled up every year. And then he's expecting some steamed broccoli and maybe some wilted spinach.
Yeah.
And it's fish and chip, and he just refused to eat it. He just couldn't believe what he's been given.
Yeah, when you've won, it's like a party on that. It's the best feeling. But on the flip side, as I've mentioned, the silence when you've lost the game is horrible. When you've won, I mean, the music goes on. People are laughing and joking, and it's great. I think certainly when we played City and we qualified for the Champions League at Spurs, that game was away. We got back on the bus and the buzz was amazing because we had some champagne in the dressing room and we had a few beers that night on the bus.
Have you or any player you've been sitting next to ever bared their buttocks from the team coach?
Yeah. Great question, Tom.
Great question. Yeah.
That's definitely happened then.
It clearly has happened.
I'm trying to think now. I remember a long, long time ago I was playing in the mill. This is a beauty.
This is gonna be a good one. When he says this is going to be a beauty, it's my favourite thing. I've noticed the last 4 episodes. Go on.
No, it's good. That was a good one, but we were only young, we were in the youth team, but we were playing the Milk Cup in Ireland. Do you know the Milk Cup?
Yeah.
It's a great tournament, actually. But gets me onto another story about the Milk Cup as well. But Federici, our Australian goalkeeper, said to us that I've actually gone on to a different story now, but I'll go back to my original one. Federici said to us that he came over and the Australian national team played in the Milk Cup at his age group, I think under 16s, under 18s, whatever it was. And they played national anthems or wherever you were from. And they played, he said in his first game, the Neighbours theme tune.
That's ridiculous.
Oh,
Did they sing along?
He said they're basically taking the piss out of them, yeah. It says basically, they literally lined up and they played Neighbours. And then
At least everyone knows the
Neighbours
words.
one, because Home and Away would have been the obvious
good
one.
neighbours become good friends. That one.
Yeah. Banger.
But anyway, back
Tell
to
us
the
about the bare ass
Who got
on the
their arse
bus
out?
situation.
Yeah, so one of the lads, we were only, I think we were, I must have been 14 actually. And we were playing for the under-16s. I was a couple of years above. We actually won it, but we were on the minibus. It wasn't a coach. It was a minibus coming home. And one of the lads did the usual Mooney. And it was a family. And they had taken offence, but they followed us the whole way home.
What, to have a go?
Yeah, they came in the whole way home.
Not to see another glimpse. They were so impressed by his
No,
arse.
they literally, yeah. And then he was like, well, they're behind us, and they're still behind us. And then we got into this nice hotel, and you go through like the golf course bit, they were still behind us. And you got to the stage where we were all just in tears, and he was Steve White as a ghost going, oh my God, like, why are they still here? And they came in, and this woman just went mental. And they got threatened to send him home.
He got sent home for it.
They were threatening to, and they told him for the whole day that he was getting sent home. And I remember seeing him. I remember going back to a room and then coming back, and he was sitting outside the manager's like office not the office, but like his room in the hotel, and they were deliberating whether they're going to send him home. And he was like literally outside the headmaster's office, like sitting there. Why did I get my arse out on the bus? And, oh God, it was very funny.
Can you watch, let's say you do a 3 p.m. kickoff, are you all watching the later kickoff?
Oh, yeah, nice.
On the bus?
Yeah, well, usually the other way round. So we'll watch the early kickoff at 12:30 before 3 o'clock game or something like that. Yeah, we'll always watch the game on the bus usually, if it doesn't cut out, which it does a lot.
Yeah, of course.
But it's it's good to watch the early game, definitely. Yeah.
You told me a story about Rob Green, who sounds like a very, very nice man, Chris. So Rob Green liked to read on the coach. He liked to read a book. And
how dare he?
You told me this story, and were absolutely scathing about the fact that you used to read on the bus, and you just say you threw stuff at him. And at the time, I remember laughing, but inside a little voice going, "That would be me. I would be reading.
That would be you.
I would be reading."
Why were you doing that then? What was going on?
No,
there then?
I just think maybe at that time reading was frowned upon on the bus.
The footballer's mantra there.
Does that seem harsh to you, Chris?
Reading is cheating.
You can't get away with reading on this bus. How dare you?
Reading?
What were you thinking?
Mental.
Wasn't Carragher a reader though?
Yeah. Jamie used to love reading all the autobiographies, and you used to have a different one every week. I think it's become more socially acceptable now to read. Which has been
21st
quite nice.
century.
Yeah, well, I think it's something the foreign players brought to the game.
Culture.
Just
not really
reading,
culture,
yeah.
just reading.
Sort of thing that 5-year-olds do at school.
Yeah. Well, it's nice. Football's evolving. I've even written one.
Chris, there's a little story that Peter was telling me before you got here, and look, we've got used to some fine stories and some frankly stories that are very hard to believe from Peter. The headline for this one was, "I was in Spice World the movie."
No.
Yeah, I did mention that off air, yeah. I was.
So what? Right, okay. Fine.
Well, what do you want to know?
Well, I've seen the movie. I wasn't aware that you were in it. At what point were you on?
Yeah. Well, basically, I was, I think, 15.
You've been
16.
older than that.
Yeah, 16, sorry. But I was a big fan of Spice Girls. And I pretended to take my sister. I took my mate along. And they had, basically, in the Royal Albert Hall, they were playing one of their songs, but it was their finale bit. And they were recording the film. And I was in the crowd. Me, my mate... and my sister, we just took along to pretend that we had someone that we could take along. So we were just in the crowd, not really in it as such, but we were there.
But you're in there somewhere.
In there somewhere, yes.
If we were to watch the film back, I don't own a copy, Chris. I don't know if you do.
Well, we can find it.
We can
sure.
find it. Which point are we pausing to try and look for a distinctive figure?
Yeah, can we see?
Well, when
you?
Scary Spice comes to the front, I'm going mental. So that's probably the point where.
We need to find it.
We need to find this, don't
matter
we?
of urgency.
Or if we can't find it, maybe someone who's listening who's got a copy. I mean, so many people enjoyed that film as you did, Peter. Someone who's got a DVD of it can maybe pause it and do like a screenshot.
But find me. I was there.
So you're in Spice World, and we're hopefully, Chris, going to get photographic evidence of that. If
we'll find out if he was there.
If we're talking about photographic evidence, Chris.
Oh, photographic evidence. Well, yeah, so obviously I do have that Iniesta photo. It is on my computer, but there is a virus on my computer at the moment.
Oh, come on. This is actually getting stupid. Virus on your computer.
Yeah, convenient virus.
It's carnage out there at the moment. It's because of the change of weather. The change of weather affects us all.
As long as it's the weather and not the Russians,
my
mate.
computer is does a virus, but it is on there. I can, I'll show you it next week.
Chris, you threatened in our last podcast to actually go to Japan.
I've made exploratory searches into how I could make this happen. But I haven't got a picture of me and Iniesta yet. It is going to involve me having to go to Japan, though, to try and track him down. But I'm adamant that if I can get a picture of me and Iniesta before you end up with your one, because I don't believe that you actually have one.
Well, I do
you'll
have
buy
it,
me
and
a card.
I've seen it recently before the virus kicked in.
Oh, so you saw it and then the virus kicked in?
Yeah. Because I don't use my computer that often. Booted it up, saw the picture, and then the virus kicked in. But
That's how it works with viruses.
This all sounds very believable.
I will reveal it before the end of this.
All right, well, the race is on.
I can't wait for you to see this picture.
So what should we talk about next pod, chaps? What do you think? What sort of topics would you be interested in?
Grouchy, what are you feeling?
Maybe we should go tactical. Why don't we go tactics, strategies, formations?
Serious one.
Let's go serious. Let's go deep into the world of formations and tactics.
I mean, it sounds fascinating, if a little dry.
Isn't this what you told us last week? You got to put the ball away. Isn't that the phrase for this sort of chat?
Yeah, but I do feel that we can have fun, we can have a laugh and a joke, but there is the nitty gritty of football formations and tactics. I think will be quite interesting.
I'm intrigued. I think that's a good idea. Should we do that?
Let's do that. I've got a theory, and I'm hoping you're going to disprove this, that players get told all about the formations, and they do all the stuff with the chalkboards and the magnetic thing and all the rest of it, and actually most of it doesn't go in. That they just end up playing football.
Well, the thing I've found, being a player and knowing players, that players usually have a attention span of 45 seconds. So if a manager is talking for longer than that, then sometimes a lot of the information's lost. But there are certainly players that would listen to tactics and then completely ignore them. And there are some times where I've done it myself, where I've totally disagreed with something that's been said and decided not to do it, because I think at the end of the day it's you on the line, isn't it? And I think if there are things that are so ridiculous that you just can't do them.
Actually, there's quite a lot in this. Let's do this next time. Yeah?
Okay, let's do tactics. So we'll be back next episode, all about tactics. We'll see you then.
That Peter Crouch podcast from BBC 5 Live.
Thank you for downloading That Peter Crouch podcast. Hit the subscribe button and the next episode will come straight to your phone as soon as it's ready. Oh, and whilst I'm here, please remember to leave a nice review, mainly so that we can show it to Peter Crouch's agent, and we're going to need him to sign a new contract, so every little helps.
BBC Radio 5 Live.